Are we live? I can't tell. Oh, we are live. Look at that. It's 7 p.m. here on Saturday night. And this is Saturday Night Live with CarEdge and your hosts, Ray and Zach. I hope you don't mind. I'm using my husky, sexy voice tonight.
All right, we got Pops with the quote-unquote, does it really count if you say it about yourself? His husky, sexy voice, folks. He got a little bit of a cold, but he feels good. Here's the deal. Ford, we're going to be talking about Ford. The beginning of today's show is all about Ford. I have an interesting case to be made for why they are bleeped, okay? Now, before we talk about Ford, Dad, we have to talk about one thing.
Yeah.
Which is the first ever CarEdge sales event is August 12th.
Yes.
In Staten Island, New York. CarEdge.com/event or /sales-event. We are going to be taking over a dealership. I still am in disbelief that this is happening, Dad. Please, everyone, if you are interested, we have pre-negotiated pricing. We're going to be doing a live show from the showroom floor. We're going to have our team there. It's going to be really incredible. So CarEdge.com/event. Are you shocked that we convinced the dealership to let us take over?
Am I shocked? I there was a comment on one of the videos the other day about how we denigrate Jeep all day long, and then the first sales event we do is for a Jeep store. There's a certain bit
poetic
of irony.
Justice.
Yeah. But having said that, there are people who want Jeeps.
And Chrysler and Dodge and Ram and Subaru.
And that weekend, at least on the 12th, it'll be the easiest time they've ever had buying one of those vehicles at this dealership, because all the pricing will be pre-negotiated. All the F&I products will be pre-negotiated.
Everything, the whole experience is set by us. But this show is about Ford. So anyway, I had to get our pitch out of the way. So proud of that.
Oh, we're done pitching?
We're done pitching, Dad.
We're done pitching, ladies and gentlemen.
We got to talk about Ford.
What about Ford now?
They're customers, Dad.
Yeah, hate them?
Well, yeah, a lot of them do. A lot of them do. Here's the headline from Automotive News.
Yeah.
Ford Q2 deliveries rise 9.9% with highest F-Series sales since 2020.
Wow.
So how the heck am I coming on to a Saturday night show and saying Ford is effed, customers are refusing orders? The thing that interested me to even go this route, Dad, was I saw something on social media from Car Dealership Guy.
Yes.
This tweet was Ford electric vehicle sales are slowing down. And
we know that.
And we walked around a lot recently, and there's a bunch of Ford Mustang Mach-E's.
Yeah.
So I saw this tweet, though, and it's Ford Insider here. Dealers are refusing the Mach-E allocation in big numbers. E-Transit is completely dead, and Lightning buyers are not picking up their reservations. I read that, and then I kept reading through the remainder of the tweets. Mike Levine, who works for Ford, obviously says sales are going great.
Yeah,
then there was this, hey, car dealership guy, I prefer to be anonymous. I actually am in sales at a Ford dealership and want to confirm about 50% of people are actually picking up their Lightning reservations. A lot of them aren't taking them. Mach-E sales have fallen off a cliff. I actually drive a Mach-E and I'm quite knowledgeable about the cars. And we have had 2 on our lot for 6+ months. One of them just had a birthday.
Ooh,
to circle back, EV sales are slowing. I don't understand the sales numbers Ford is stating. One last one here, Pops. And then I'm going to show you some of the data that I was able to find that helps quantify what's going on here. Something strange is happening near me. I live in SoCal Beach City. There's a large parking lot near me that was used pre-pandemic by office workers at a nearby office complex. Since the pandemic, this lot is mostly vacant. 3 weeks ago, half of the lot was cordoned off and began to fill with Ford electric Mustangs. There are now around 120 nearly identical cars. Why would they park nearly $5 million worth of cars like this?
Because you got to put them somewhere, ladies and gentlemen.
So, folks, you start to look on social media and you're seeing all these things that say, okay, Ford sales, they're not really picking up. Customers are refusing their orders. And then you start to dig in a little bit more, Dad.
Okay.
I did a little bit of research on the Ford Maverick because this was going to be one of those great vehicles for Ford.
Yeah.
You don't have to look that far, Dad. You go on the community forums, left, right, forward, backwards. Everyone is bleeping and moaning about Ford Mavericks with dealer markups.
Yeah.
The average expected dealer markup, let me see if I have that. It was something like $5,000. Yeah, here it is on Motor Biscuit. Let me pull it up here. Share this tab. Nearly $5,000 is the average dealer markup, 18.4% on a Ford Maverick.
But wait, you got to help me with one thing.
Yeah.
How do dealers even have Mavericks to sell when the order bank was tapped out like 10 minutes into opening? So you would think that, Ford has all these Mavericks sold, that they would build the ones that the customers have reserved, have put an order in for. But are you suggesting that Ford isn't putting their entire effort into building those vehicles, but they're building just stock units for dealers so that dealers can besmirch the Ford name by charging over MSRP for those vehicles? A practice Ford has said in memo after memo is a bad look. Is that what that Ford's actually not only encouraging it, but participating in it wholly and fully? That's what you're saying.
What do you think the average transaction? Let's put it in the chat.
Yeah.
For the most recent quarter of data that we have from Ford.
Yeah.
That includes Lincoln. So
Yeah.
Ford and Lincoln, the Ford Motor Corporation, Motor Company, Motor Corporation.
Ford Motor Company.
Motor Company.
Yeah.
What do you think the average transaction price is for a brand spanking new Ford? We've talked about this before on
Well,
shows.
we know it's. What
do you think it is?
It's what, close to 55 grand today, I think.
Let's get a couple guesses in the chat. Pop
Yeah.
says $55,000 for American dollars. And then we're talking about, let's be very clear, the entry-level truck that everyone's supposed to get their hands on is marked up on average 18.4%. Rob says 60,000.
Okay.
Luis says 50,000. V2K says 63,000. Snaz says 45,000. We've got some $54,000 guesses here. Martin, I wish you were right.
Yeah.
Martin, the things that we would do.
Martin, have you been living in a cave?
No, Martin has been on our shows, which we really appreciate.
I know.
$55,711 is the average transaction price for a Ford. So let's just try and quantify a few things. I've got more data for you. I've actually got a juxtaposition of retail sales gains versus fleet sales gains, as well as inventory gains versus sales gains. Paints a very interesting picture for what's going on.
Yeah.
But look at this chart, and let's just leave this up on the screen for a moment. Dan.
Yeah.
$55,711. If we zoom in back to Q1 of 2018,
yes,
that lime green line, that is going to be Ford and Lincoln.
Okay.
The average transaction price was nearly $15,000 less.
Wow.
Just 6 years ago.
Well, you know what the good news is, though? Ray Shesky, am not average. I cannot afford one of those Fords at an average transaction price of nearly $56,000.
Let's do our quick 10% roll, Pops. How many people can actually afford a Ford at $56,000, which is the average transaction price, which does not include your out the door price, your taxes and fees and everything like that? Add 10% for that, right? We had our video on the channel today about the OTD, so let's add 10%.
So you're up to 61 grand.
$61,000. Yeah. What do you need to be making each year to comfortably purchase a vehicle that's $61,000? You say 10% of your take home is the maximum you should allocate towards your car. And we talk car, not car payment.
Yes.
So fuel, insurance, things like that.
Well, that would translate into $600,000 if you want to do 600. If you want to do 10% of your take home. Well, actually, it should be 10% of gross, not net.
So what? But what's the number, Pops? It's
$600 grand. I mean, if you do 10%, but here's the good news. 84, 85% of all customers out there are payment buyers, and let's say pull up our CarEdge calculator real quick, and let's say it was $61,000 with fees, and let's just say that the average Ford customer today actually covered the tax, title, license, and doc fee, so that they're financing $56,000, and the average new car rate today is 8%.
Cox Automotive has it at 8%. Yeah.
Okay, and the average loan term is somewhere between 72 and 84. What would that payment be? That payment would be in excess of $1,000 a month. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So you need, if it's $1,000 a month, and so your car payment should be no more than 10% of your gross, then you need to be making $10,000 a month, which means you need to have an annual income of $120,000 plus.
Last time I checked, those people don't have incomes over $120,000 a year.
I believe the median in this country is 60-something thousand.
All right, so let's turn our attention to the other storyline here.
Which means the people can afford half of that.
Yeah. But let me pull it back up on the screen. But gang, let's all believe this for a moment. F-Series sales are the highest they've been since 2020. Actually, I can go back to the Cox data. Give me 1 second.
We'll give you all the time you need there.
What was it here? So the Ford brand saw prices up nearly 13%.
Yeah.
Transit commercial van was up 18%. Transit Connect up 15%. Bronco up 10%. F-Series, holy freak. Holy cow. The average F-Series costs $66,000.
Yeah, no, that seems may I, and you should never compare like eras, because I remember, when I was a kid, and in the Philadelphia area, Tasty Cake Baking Company is a very big snack food manufacturer, baker. And I remember when I was a kid, a Tasty Cake Junior, which is a very popular small cake, was 25 cents. And my father used to always say, yeah, but when I was a kid, they were a nickel. Okay. So it's hard to compare from one era to the other. But my first damn house that I bought with my first wife, not your mother, in Northfield, New Jersey, was $54,000. That was my first house. Okay. My house was $12,000 less than the average transaction price is on a Ford F-150. And I might add, it was a 3-bedroom home, split level, darling little place. Okay. And I know most F-150s are crew cabs or whatever, maxi, so you could probably fit a family of 4 in there in an emergency.
Holy cow. I'm still blown away. I didn't realize the F-Series. We look at this data all the time, but I hadn't looked at that in a while.
We don't look at it enough.
$66,000.
That's crazy. Yeah.
And then again, the savior was the Maverick.
Yeah.
And it's marked up on average 18 to 19% by dealers.
Yes. And that's only because Ford isn't spending all their time making Mavericks for the people that have already ordered them.
We had more GM plant closures recently to stop the production of Silverado pickup trucks because they don't want to oversupply the market, even though
it's already oversupplied.
Yeah. Well, it's oversupplied, and also it's oversupplied with expensive vehicles. Okay, so here's what I want to do.
Yes.
I want to do a little science experiment. All right. So let me pull this up on the screen.
Is this better living through chemistry type of science experience?
Ford delivery. Yes. Yeah. I don't know what that is, but yes, Ford deliveries were up 10%, right?
Yeah.
This question came through in the chat from August West. What percentage of the sales, I don't know just F-Series, but what percentage of Ford sales are straight commercial fleet? So I started to do some digging, Dad.
Yeah.
So Ford's up 10% in the second quarter, year over year. How much of that is due to fleet and how much of that is due to retail?
Yes.
Because if you look at the numbers, folks, for the industry at large, I think it was retail gains in Q2 were 2.9%.
Yes.
And fleet sales increased, what was it, like
50%?
50%.
Yeah.
All right.
So if I were to guess, and I haven't looked at this yet, so I'm going to guess. I'm going to guess that retail sales are up about 1.9% for Ford.
Okay.
To get them to the 9.9. And the other 8% of that growth came from fleet.
Well, as you know, percentages work in funky ways.
That's what they say at Carvana. Yes.
That's what they say at Carvana. Whose stock is up but anyway, this is not financial advice. Ford Pro, which is their commercial division.
Yes.
Posted 18% growth.
Okay.
So Ford Pro was up 18%.
Yes.
Retail would have been up then to get to 2%. Yeah,
Okay.
would have been up 2% because that has you up 20%. And then you divide by 2.
I was pretty close at 1.9.
So we had, Dad,
Yes.
another automaker
Yes.
who was, tongue-in-cheek, bailed out by fleet sales.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got consumer demand diminishing, which is ironic because then there's headlines from Ford and GM saying that pent-up consumer demand is strong. That is incorrect. Because if you look at, Dad, the inventory levels, this is stuff that
there could be some pent-up consumer demand, but not to the level that they need it to be based on their inventories.
Let's look at this, Dad.
Okay.
We have articles on our website. We've been doing this a while, folks, back at CarEdge.com. I wrote this in September of 2021. New vehicle
almost 2 years ago.
We've been doing this for a while, man.
Yeah, well, you didn't lie.
We're in the same condo, folks.
Yeah.
All right. 2 years ago. Let's come down here and let's look at Ford inventory levels, right? Because that's what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
In 2019, Ford had 621,000 vehicles out in inventory. Their low point was 210,800. So 211,000.
And that's for a given month.
That's for a given month. Yep.
Yes.
That's how many vehicles they had in inventory out there ready to be sold.
Yes.
Ford's inventory, Dad, from this point to now has gone up significantly.
Okay.
Let me jump over to this article that our dear friend, Justin wrote. The highest
just last month, a month and a half ago.
Whoops, I actually meant to jump to this one. New car inventory in 2023.
Yes.
And then let's come down here to Ford.
Okay.
Ford's total inventory is 359,000. It's actually gone up in the most recent month to 364,000. It's around 360,000 units. It's gone up 150,000 units, which I'm not great at math. You're not great at math. We prove that frequently on this show. But if they went from
every chance we get, we prove we're not good.
211,000 vehicles in inventory to 360,000 vehicles in inventory is more than a 2% increase. Because remember, the retail sales increase at Ford
was 2%.
Was 2%. So Ford's inventory has grown way more quickly than their sales have gone up. At the same time, customers are we're hearing anecdotally walking away from reservations.
Yes.
Customers are fed up with these Lightning and these markup, or the Maverick and the markups.
Mm-hmm. As well they should be.
And we haven't even touched on.
Yes.
Starts with a Q and ends with a C. Starts with a Q, ends with a C. Anyone?
QVC?
No, not QVC. Come on, one more guess. You got one more guess.
I don't. I really don't. You can't do this to me. You just made me look really stupid.
Quality control.
Oh.
We haven't even talked about.
Well, that's because we don't have to talk about it because Ford has proven over the last several years that quality control is job none. It just is. They have none.
Leading the league in recalls.
Yes.
Which is not the accolade you want. You know how NBA teams, they hang the banners in their arenas after they win, the championship or the conference finals.
They all get the
rings
and everything.
What do you think they do at Ford?
They give them broken rings.
They give them broken rings.
the rings that the jewels fell out of. Okay. Yeah. There was a time when your grandfather, my father, who you never met, passed away long before you were ever born, but he was in the vending machine business, and we had gumball machines.
Yeah.
And there were prizes inside those gumball machines.
All right.
Okay. And some of those prizes were plastic rings, which is the type of thing that Ford gives their employees because quality is job none.
I hear you, man. I hear you.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Can I say the most ironic thing about that?
Yeah, please.
My father was a dentist.
Yeah, he was.
Okay.
And he sold gumballs.
And he sold gumballs to make sure kids would get cavities, so he'd have cavities to fill in his. Isn't that just so wrong?
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this question, then. Do you think I went with Ford is bleeped? Do you think Ford is bleeped? Do you think this is going to be, because their sales are up 10%? The headlines are great.
Yeah, but the inventory is up way more than their sales are up. Their EV business is faltering.
It really is.
Okay. There's no way to sugarcoat it to make it sound better than you can. We already know from people we've spoken to that there is no margin between invoice amount and MSRP on many of the EVs that Ford builds. So there's no excitement level at the dealerships to sell them. I mean,
not to mention Ford told dealers you have to pay $1.2 million to become EV dealers.
And so I'm sure there's many dealers right now that are thinking to themselves, was there an escape clause there?
Yeah.
So it just, Ford's betting a bunch that they're going to be able to make real inroads in the EV market. Tesla's betting a bunch that they can choke Ford off.
Yeah.
And they are. And they figure they can choke GM and everybody else for the most part. Because those manufacturers can't build the cars, sell them, and make money selling them.
But even
their dealers can't make money selling. So if the dealers and the salespeople have no interest in selling the cars, guess what's not going to sell?
Yeah, but also you're harping. You spend too much time on the EV channel. EVs make up such a small percentage of vehicles sold. Look at the fact that Ford's average F-Series is $66,000.
Okay, but let me help you.
Those aren't selling either.
Let me help you with something. Tesla, in the last quarter, worldwide, sold 468,000 vehicles. So, yes, EVs still equal a small percentage of sales, but it is a growing percentage of sales, which is why Ford, Stellantis, General Motors, and everybody else is coming out with EVs of some kind or another. So, but if they can't make them profitable, and if the salespeople who have to sell them can't make any money selling them,
I don't want to go too deep on EVs.
Well, but this goes for trucks and everything else. If the salespeople can't make any money selling them, then the salespeople don't get excited about it. They can't transfer that they do transfer that non-excitement to the customer that comes in, so the customer leaves because they're no longer excited. Stuff doesn't get sold.
Yeah, and that's what we're seeing in the inventory sitting around. And
so that's what I was trying to get to. That's one of the leading factors as to why stuff isn't getting sold, because if there's no money to be made for the salesperson that has to sell it, the salesperson loses interest.
Let's go to the chat pops. We've got a couple things coming through here. We've got from Elantra, Zach and Ray need to go to a dealership, and Jordan says Zach and Ray should start a dealership. They certainly know how to critique them. Better than that, Jordan, and better than that, Elantra. We have convinced dealers to let us run their dealerships. We don't have to start a dealership.
At least for a day.
At least for a day. August 12th is the first CarEdge sales event. If you are on the East Coast of the United States, we encourage you to come hang out with us. If you're going to buy a car, that would be a great day to buy a car.
Yes.
We will have pre-negotiated the pricing. The experience will be controlled by us. Our team will be on site at the dealership, making sure everything goes smoothly. So we will put our money where our mouth is. We will put our mouth where our money is?
No, we'll put our money where our mouth is.
Because we're reading between the tea leaves?
You are indeed. Yeah.
Please, caredge.com/sales-event. Get on the wait list. It's going to be pretty, I don't know. I'm still in disbelief.
And even if you don't want to buy a car,
come hang out with us.
Just come hang out.
Will it be broadcast live? Yes, we are going to be in the middle of the showroom doing a live stream.
Maybe not for the whole day.
The whole day.
The whole day?
Yeah, no bathroom breaks.
Holy mackerel. Oh, my God. Well, can't wait to get the colostomy before we go up there.
Here we go, Pops. We got from Michael.
Yes.
Chapman Ford in Egg Harbor Township
where we did some filming.
We've done some filming, yeah. Did the bait and switch with my wife's ordered Bronco Sport, so we refused the order. This is also what we're hearing. This is not Ford specific, to be very clear. This is happening across many OEMs. You order a car. Can we just put this into perspective?
Yes.
Let's say a year ago I ordered a car. Okay. Interest rates a year ago may have been 2%, 3%, 4%. The price of the car might have been X or Y, and now it's X or Y plus 6% because the MSRP went up. Your car finally comes, then the dealer says, well, we put paint and fabric protection on everything.
Need to negotiate that when you order the car.
Yeah, but if they do the bait and switch, they do the bait and switch. That's a terrible experience.
It is a terrible experience, but you need to negotiate all the parameters around your ordered car at the time you order it. Specify everything that's going to be done to it before you order it. Don't leave it up to don't wonder about what the price is going to be when it comes in. You need to have already established what the price is going to be when you ordered it. And the price could be on a Bronco, they might agree, okay, MSRP, and what today's MSRP is, plus any increases that Ford might have in that MSRP between the time you ordered it and the time it comes in. But at least you're not paying more than MSRP, whatever it is.
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. We have guides and videos on how to factory order. And
yes, we do.
Here we go, Dad, from Roderick.
Yes.
Gowden Ford in Las Vegas has 2022 F-150 sitting on the lot over 300 days still.
Yes.
Some 200 days plus, and a few marked up trucks with wild packages going for $80,000 or more. Wow.
Roderick, here's my suggestion. Just do this just for fun. Keep an eye on that truck. And when it hits its birthday, go over there with like a cupcake with a candle on it, or even a bigger cake if you'd like, and just say, hey, I just wanted to drop, because I understand this truck is celebrating its 1-year birthday with you today. Let's see what they say.
I wanted to bring this up the other night. We'll bring it up in a second.
Yes.
I want to just pull this up from Space. Space is one of our car coaches. So if you're new to the channel, CarEdge.com, we have car coaches. It's an incredible group, a growing group of people.
Yes.
Man, we're maybe up to 10 car coaches, maybe a little less than 10, right around 10. If you're interested in becoming
9.5, we have 9.5 car coaches.
If you're interested in joining us as a car coach, we're always interested in talking to folks. CarEdge.com/apply. Space is one of our car coaches, helps hundreds of people every month.
And he's the mayor of the community.
And he is the mayor of the CarEdge community.
Yes.
Ford has price protection, MSRP is locked, and also incentives and promo APRs. So what that says to me, Dad, is that experience that the gentleman who commented on the chat was, he thought he had a deal like this. The dealership still did bait and switch.
I would get it all in writing.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying too. And the only reason I'm saying, I worked in the industry. Now I know, the stores that I worked in.
Yep.
We negotiated the price of the car that we were ordering for the people. And it was subject to any price increase from the manufacturer, and whatever that price increase was. And what we would do for our customers, especially at the mini store, is if there was a price increase, we wouldn't do the retail increase. We would only do what the wholesale cost increase was, because we wanted to take care of our customers and protect them. And we didn't want there to have to be any question about what the price of the car was going to be when it came in.
No, 100%.
It was all stipulated.
Here's the deal. We're going to briefly take a field trip. So you go to the website, CarEdge.com. You go to resources. You click on free guides.
Yes.
You look at him going crazy because, holy cow, Jeep does have a dilemma. But that's why we're going to help him sell some cars. And then you come down here and you type in factory order. That's the search bar. You search for it. The rising trend of canceling factory order, what it means for car buyers. We did an article on that a while back.
Yes.
Factory ordering a car. These are the wait times we're seeing in 2023. How to factory order a car for 2022. Still the same thing here in 2023, folks. My dad wrote this 2 years ago. Boom. Look at... Are there any red flags I should watch out for? How do I factory order a vehicle? This is last time I checked, Pops, there's no email wall, there's no paywall, there's no wall. There's no Paul Wall. Do you like Paul Wall?
Yeah, I love Paul Wall. What's Paul Wall?
Paul Wall's I think a Memphis rapper.
Oh, really? Well, I like all things Memphis, except the Grizzlies.
Except for the Grizzlies. Anyway, there you go. That's how you would, if you were interested in finding that, that's where that
And
would
the
be.
and the reason I like all things Memphis, folks, is because that's where my family's from.
Exactly.
A lot of my family was from the South,
Yes.
and they were in Memphis.
Yes. Lord Zero, I think you are spot on that he has no clue who that is. And thank you. I appreciate that.
No, I have no idea.
I'll play some after the show.
I can't wait.
Here we go, Dad, from Frederick. I turned down my Lightning reservation. Stupid price, bad quality, terrible. Why'd you make a reservation? Why'd you reserve one to begin with?
No, because there was that fear of missing out.
Yeah, maybe.
Some people just want to be on the cutting edge. Yeah, on the forefront.
Pops from the real estate whisperer himself, Robert Greenblatt.
Yes.
About 3 floors above us, 5 floors,
four
floors
yes.
above us. Robert says Ford's lack of financial incentive to sell some cars makes sense. Recently tried to buy a Mach-E. Dealership was slow to respond initially and then totally ghosted me. Strange. Again, we were at the Ford dealership.
Yes.
Mach-E's sitting everywhere, and then you hear about experiences like these.
Robert and I were discussing that yesterday. And actually, we should invite Robert on the show. He's a little bit of a car buff, and he's looking at perhaps getting an electric vehicle. And we could review his experience that he had at the Ford dealership that he was trying to do business with. And he was recently at a Polestar dealership in Princeton, New Jersey. And
again, why are we doing CarEdge sales events?
To make life easier. And may I say something? It's not just to make life easier for you, for the customer. It's also to make life easier for the salespeople and the staff at the dealership. Because the whole idea behind this is to show them how they can sell more cars in less time per vehicle sold. Okay? And with that old popular phrase, whatever savings that they're passing on to the customers, they can still make the profit up in volume because they're going to be selling more cars in less time.
All right, let's actually dig into this a little bit. One of the trends in the industry, gang, has traditionally been that the dealership makes money on the new car side from manufacturer incentives. I heard that.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
Can you enlighten us? Elucidate us. Elucidate us?
Wow, you'd like to be elucidated?
I don't know. Just don't hallucinate. Like,
I've been inoculated.
Give me an example. You ran Audi dealerships, Mini dealerships. You spent time at Mercedes dealerships, Acura dealerships.
What happens is most of the manufacturers, at least prior to COVID, when there was ample inventory, they would set up monthly sales objectives for dealerships to hit. Some manufacturers did programs that I really hated, which were called stair-step programs. So, and meaning like if your goal was 100 cars, and if you hit 90% of your goal, you got I'm good. You got like $500 per car sold. If you hit 100% of your goal, you might have gotten say $700 per car. You hit 110% of your goal, and that could jump up to $900 per car, retroactive back to the first car. And if you hit like 120 or 125%, that number might go up to $1,000 or $1,200, all retroactive. So the dealership starts the beginning of every month saying, we've got to at least do 90% of what the manufacturer has set up for us as our sales objective. And you start, if it's $500 per car, you start factoring that $500 into your car deals, because you're saying to yourself, well, I'm going to get that money back at the end of the month. So that's what manufacturers in many cases did. I'm assuming that in many cases today, they're doing it again, especially with the brands that have inventory.
So let's hit on for a moment.
Yes.
Why are we working with a Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram dealership? This article, Justin, thank you so much. He's been compiling this data monthly.
Yes.
The top 10 vehicles that are selling the slowest right now in the United States.
7 out of the 10.
7 out of the 10 are Stellantis. Jeep Renegade, 516 days supply. Yeah. Ram 2500 pickup, 459 days supply. Jeep Cherokee, 381 days supply. Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid, 316. The list goes on and on. Let's juxtapose this with the vehicles that are selling the quickest, the vehicles that you can't get your hands on right now.
Yeah, well, we're going to do everything in our power to change those numbers.
Look at this Subaru Crosstrek here. Yeah. I was literally, because we're doing it with the Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram dealership and the Subaru dealership. I'm sitting on Wednesday of last week.
I think that's an Outback.
That's a Crosstrek.
I think that's an Outback.
You think so?
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments. You really
it might be an Outback Wilderness or whatever they call it. Yeah.
I think that's a Crosstrek.
It's not.
Why'd you have to say that like such a dad?
The crossbars on the roof. I don't think the Crosstrek has the roof rack.
All right, you're right.
I don't know that I'm right.
No,
I'm right.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm sorry.
You can tell by the headlights.
I apologize.
I'm sitting in the sales manager's office talking to the general sales manager, John. He's a really nice guy. Talking to John, and I'm running him through the spreadsheet that Mario, that Space put together. Mario gave me a spreadsheet to tell them, hey, here are the prices we want our community members to pay.
And this is all data-driven stuff.
And
Space comes up with these numbers.
Pulls out, he had printed out all of his inventory.
Yeah.
He said, Zach, I don't have a single Crosstrek. So I'm going to scroll down here. I know this is an Outback, but I'm going to scroll down here. We got Outbacks that have no inventory. They actually have a bunch of Outbacks there. So we're going to be doing some deals on Outbacks. Good. HRVs, Tellurides, Highlanders, K5. Like the list here, these makes and these models, you're not going to find them right now. Look at the Integra. We know the Integra's got huge markups on it at present. All these things are regionalized, but the reason I bring this up, Dad, is because if we go back up to that list higher here, these manufacturers look at this data just like we do.
Well, they study it every day.
The Jeep Renegade, if I go down lower on the page, that 516-day supply, last month it was a 753-day supply. Let this sink in, folks. Last month, there were 7,630 for sale and 456 had sold in the last 45 days. They had produced a ton more, but they incentivized the hell to sell 700 more. These manufacturers look at this stuff, and this influences their willingness to put money against it. Incentivize the sale.
Whether it be customer incentives or dealership incentives. And it's all regionalized. It's all by zones.
DMAs.
Well, they look at their, they break the country up into, like with Acura, it was 6 zones, if I remember correctly. And so they look at what their inventory position is on every model in every zone, and they develop their programs for each particular zone to move the slower moving stuff, the things that are starting to build up where the inventory is a little out of whack. So if you're Stellantis, if you're the head of the Jeep division for Stellantis, when you had a 700 some day supply and you were building more of them, that you need to do something about that. Now the something about that could be customer incentives. It could be dealership incentives. It could be salesperson incentives.
Yep.
I have seen incentives on different vehicles where if a salesperson sold the right vehicles and sold enough, where a salesperson could pick up an extra $3,000 a month in income from the factory, above and beyond what they were making at the dealership. Now, the reason the factory would do it is because they knew the dealership was just paying them what we refer to in the industry as a mini or a minimum commission, because they were basically giving the cars away at very little profit. So the manufacturer had to step up and basically underwrite the salesperson's paycheck in order to keep them interested in selling their product.
And the OEM, when they report their quarterly earnings, they want to do what we were talking about at the beginning. They want to report like Ford, we're up 10%.
Yes.
They have to move this metal. And then what happens is you get this inherent conflict between the dealer, who's now sitting on all of the inventory, and the OEM, who's pushing all the inventory onto them. And so if you are out there and you've been on the sidelines for the past couple of years, there are some brands and in some areas, it's like pre-pandemic all over again.
Mhm.
And there are some dealerships, for example, and some brands. Subaru's good, generally speaking. We've got this
Typically,
from Andy.
yeah.
My local Subaru dealership is the only one giving thousands off of MSRP. No wonder they don't have inventory. I will say, Dad, one of the there's over 25% off on multiple Jeep products that we're going to be selling. Over 25% off between the dealer discount and the manufacturer incentive.
Wow.
Either
That's pretty staggering.
That says that they just priced them wrong, right?
Well, that says that they've spent the past 2.5, 3 years building only their highest trim level vehicles because they were the ones that they made the most money on. And since there was a shortage of vehicles, people were buying them. And now that there's a shortage of customers, people are not buying them. So now they have to incentivize them. That's what it shows. It shows that they got it shows that it started at the manufacturing level, that they got greedy.
At the end of the day, you can blame the dealer all you want for the additional dealer markups
Yes.
and all of those things. You kind of got to point the finger back at the OEM
Yes.
as well. All right, I want to actually turn this into a success story because we are seeing
Yes.
end of June was a great time to buy a car. I mean, if you had to, end of June was
the end
a
of the
great time.
second quarter.
Exactly. End of June was a great time.
Yeah.
We had a really awesome success story where it shows dealer was incentivized to move a piece of metal. Let me pull this up.
And folks, if I can, to the dealer, that's all it is. It's just metal.
The number of times I heard that the other day when I was at the dealership.
That's it. That's all it is. You know, one of the phrases in the dealership is we just have to move the metal, because to the dealer, that's all it is. It's nothing. In most cases, it's nothing that anybody at the dealership has fallen in love with or intends to fall in love with. It's just metal. It's just a piece of merchandise that, once again, in many cases, is easily replaceable. Now, 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, when it wasn't easily replaceable, you know, then there was this love affair that the manufacturer and the dealers had with their products. But today, if you're a Stellantis dealer, you're a Ford dealer,
Yep.
that love affair is long gone, and you're just looking at moving metal again.
All right, Pops, I want to turn our attention here. I'm going to give a shout out to Rich and Hunter. Hunter is one of our relatively new car coaches.
Yes.
Hunter joined us about a month ago now. Hunter is fantastic, and he's one of the folks that you can work with if you join CarEdge when you're going through the car buying process. Here we go, Pops. I want to express my sincere gratitude for the existence of this service because it absolutely levels the playing field. I recently used this service to lease my new vehicle. I'd like to send a huge shout out to my coach, Hunter, as he encouraged and empowered me to land a great deal on a lease for a Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV. Before I even do this, before we read through the remainder of this,
Yes.
I want you to just start thinking in your head, how much do you think the dealer discounted this? Just start thinking as I'm reading this story, okay?
Oh, okay.
I felt that having the CarEdge coach in my corner during the transaction minimized the dealership's edge by arming with the valuable insider information and thus giving me confidence to enter into a lease negotiation, truly feeling like I had a fighting chance. I wanted to leverage, I explained to him the vehicle I was considering. I wanted to leverage the June 30th date for big reasons. Not only was it the end of the month, but more importantly, this day also signified the end of the quarter.
Mhm.
We were slammed at the end of June. It was a great time, relatively speaking, to be in the market. Additionally, the dealership in my crosshairs was under construction, which I imagined limited foot traffic and a bunch of units available. A few had been sitting over 100 days. Hunter immediately caught on to my evil intentions of leveraging all these different factors to put the squeeze on them. So after I brought back the initial invest quote out the door deal, Hunter worked up a counter offer for me that pushed back on them hard for additional discounts. And yes, it worked. They met our ask. However, it was still uneasy with the monthly payment and felt we could still do better. Hunter then encouraged me to simply ask for another discount and to remind them that I was ready to move on the deal before the end of the month quarter. Done and done, they came down another $1,500 to get me to a more comfortable monthly payment. By the way, I never stepped foot in the dealership until the deal was done and was ready to be pick up my vehicle.
Wow.
Pops, let me pull up this deal sheet here. I know it's a little bit blurry and everything, but you can see over $9,000
Wow.
in discounts. Plus, you're going to be able to on the Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV also get some tax incentives, tax
Yes,
credits.
indeed.
ultimately a $47,000 vehicle at $563 a month.
I'm assuming that they passed through the
Tax credits.
on the lease.
So for vehicles that are sitting, for an SUV, a hybrid electric SUV, there's deals out there.
No, there are. There's always deals. It doesn't mean they're easy to find. They're a little easier today than they have been. But if you're willing to put in the time, effort, and energy and utilize some of the tools we have, perhaps go with the car coaches, we can help you save money.
Or hopefully more and more in the future at the events that we do.
Yes.
Then you don't even have to think about it.
Well, that, and the real key is that hopefully we can open up enough dealers' eyes with these events that they just go, you know what, they're right. Let's just do set like pricing. This is the business model we want to use. This is the business model that the customers have been asking for forever. Customers just want it to be fair. They just want to know that they're not being taken advantage of. And if you do everything above board and transparently, guess what? The customer will be fine with that. Yeah. It's nobody from CarEdge, even 99% of the customers out there. Nobody doesn't want the dealership to make money. They expect the dealership to be able to make money. They understand that they, that's a business and they have to make money and there has to be a return on that investment. All the customers are asking for is that it's done fairly, openly, transparently.
Let me put in perspective why we have disdain for the process, and then we're going to jump back to the chat. Dad, this is another deal that our car coaches were working on just today, folks. All right, let me pull it up on the screen here. There it is. 2022 Jeep Grand Cherokee L Limited, $42,000 advertised price online. Right? Okay, yeah. That seems great. I love this. This is awesome. $42,000. Now I get the out the door worksheet. The out the door price. If you did not watch today's video, you need to go watch it. The out the door price is what the actual price of the doggone thing is.
With all fees.
We can't figure this out, gang. We literally can't figure this out. Again, the screenshot from their website is this. This is their advertised price as of today. This is the customer contacted them today to get the out the door price, and this is what the hell she got. Advertised price on the website, $42,000. Yeah. Market value on the out the door price, $48,500. Then you get $4,500 in savings, taking you to $44,000,
which is
still not $42,000.
Yes.
Then you get the adjusted sales price. I don't see how that happened.
Yeah, how did you get from 44 to 47?
It has no explanation. Then there's a doc fee. Then there's tax. Your out the door is actually $51,000. This
yes
is the crap that's going to keep us in business for a long time.
Yeah,
long time.
Yeah, because there's 18,000 franchise dealers out there, and we're trying to change hearts and minds, and
and they do crap like that.
Even
it makes no sense.
If we can get 1% to do something,
that made no sense. Our whole team was confuddled.
That's not a word.
Confused.
Confuddled.
Come on, man. I'm special. No, I'm
not gonna say a word. You are special.
Kayvon, thank you for the super sticker. I haven't seen my there it is.
Yeah. Sick and all, you got me dancing.
And then Pops, we've got from Shannon.
Thank
so
you,
good
Shannon.
To see you, Shannon.
Yes.
Been researching the BMW 3 Series. On a lease, BMWs are typically good to lease.
Yes.
What is a good minimum residual balance percentage of the negotiated sale price that would be considered a good deal? P.S. Another great show. Keep me honest with the residual value set off the MSRP.
The residual value is based on annual miles driven. And with BMW, they have ultra low mileage leases, 5,000, 7,500 miles a year, 10,000, 12,000, 15,000. And you can actually go above, and you can go above $15,000 and they can adjust the residual value. But the residual value is a preset percentage of the MSRP based on the amount of miles that you think you're going to drive on a yearly basis. So typically, I would think on a 3 Series today, probably be in, depending upon the mileage, it'd probably be start in either the upper 50s, like 58, 59%, and work its way into the low to mid 60s based on the mileage. So it might be like 58 or 59% at 15,000 miles a year, could be like 60 or 61% at 12,000. And then it would go up to 62 or 63 at 10,000. But that's just, again, I don't have that information in front of me or off the top of my head, but typically the residual percentage is pretty high on a 3 Series from my experience.
And last time I checked, Shannon, our car coaches, especially those that specialize in leasing, would be more than happy to help you. Here we go, Dad. Rob got it. Confused/befuddled equals confuddled.
Sure.
It does.
No, absolutely. You look it up in the Webster's dictionary.
Dwayne wants to know, will we get to watch some of the sales when we're doing the live show from the dealership on August 12th? Probably not, because I don't want to get any chance. We're going to be in literally the middle of the showroom, and the desks are on the side where all the deals will be getting on. I don't want to get someone's personal information up on the screen.
And we would need to have people sign
a release. Yes. We will have a big banner where everyone can take their photos.
Yes.
A CarEdge banner. So maybe we'll have like some sort of stream set up over it. Oh man, there's gonna be a food truck. We're gonna have merch. We're gonna hang a banner from the roof of this dealership. It's incredible.
I'm not gonna pee for like 8 or 10 hours.
No, you're not gonna pee for 8 and you're probably not gonna drink water either.
Knowing me,
Yeah, it's water break. That felt nice. We've got here, Dad, from Fly Chomper. Fly salespeople, thank you. Salespeople told me the way lots of people are affording cars is via small business write-offs, so they keep buying.
So those salespeople were only selling to small businesses? I don't.
I'm not buying that one.
Okay, good.
We've got Dad from Adrian. Hey guys, currently trying to negotiate an out the door price via email for a Kia. Any advice on how to get them to come down? You always say that your best leverage is when you're actually there.
Your presence is your best leverage,
especially on a Kia.
Especially on a Kia, because most of these Kia dealers they think very, very highly of themselves and the products that they're selling, and are unafraid to have additional dealer markups. So. The best way to scare them is to actually be there, and that might not scare them either. So you have to be prepared when it comes to a Kia or a Hyundai product. You must be prepared to walk away.
Yeah, I think unfortunately that's reality. I remember I was up in Diamond, one of our community members, who I had a video consultation with, and she was trying to buy a Honda, and it was kind of the same thing. But to be clear, you have to understand what the fair price, a fair market value is. So at MSRP on a Honda or some Kias is fair in this market.
Yes.
What you're going to end up negotiating is all the crap that gets
off of it. Yeah.
Gets added on. Beachside says, Dad, we need Ray and Zach to come to Florida and help us buy cars. They can charge some for each of us to pay for their trip. No, we don't need any money. Although it might sound altruistic, the long-term goal is for it to not explicitly be altruistic. Like we're paying to do this sales event at this dealership. We don't need to make money from this. The goal is to simply prove the point.
Yes.
That you can actually be honest and fair.
Yes.
From Rev Nation. Go check out Rev Nation's channel. We appreciate the contribution. Non-negotiable pricing model. Silly thoughts?
It should be no different than buying a polo shirt at Kohl's. It's the same price at every Kohl's. And, we're just going to try and make it easy for people. Now, customers have a responsibility, their own responsibility, to understand prior to getting there and prior to putting a deposit down to hold a car, as to whether or not it actually fits into their budget. And I will tell you that one of the great dilemmas for salespeople is when someone comes in to buy something and they really have no understanding or concept as to how that relates to the monthly payment that they desire. And every salesperson that's ever been in the car business will share hundreds, if not thousands of stories where they worked with a customer who's come in on a $40,000 car and has $500 to $1,000 to put down and wants their payment to be 300, no more than 350 a month. And that doesn't, that as we like to say to that math don't math.
Yeah.
Okay. That just doesn't work. And so it is incumbent upon customers to understand what the dollar amount of the vehicle can be to be able to have it translate into the monthly payment they so desire. So even though we're going to have control over the pricing and everything, and it'll all be up front, if your desired payment is $350 a month with $1,000 down, even though we've pre-negotiated the price to say $50,000, that car still ain't for you. And you need to know that prior to coming in.
All right, gang, CarEdge.com. That is our website. Proud. 3 years into this, and there's a lot on here. And it's slowly but surely getting more and more organized. If you want to get started, choose a car that you're interested in. Let's look. We've been talking about Ford, so we'll do a Ford F-150. You can see, this is all 100% free, the market analysis for your area. It'll pull up. I like to sort it by default to which vehicles have been sitting on dealers' lots the longest. We've got this American-looking Ford F-150 Lariat.
Well, it's just,
we have awesome information on our car search that I think is a very differentiated from many others. For example, here, every vehicle comes with our CarEdge fair price, the local market days supply, the total for sale, how many have sold in the last 45 days.
And that's all good information, solid information that you can share with the dealer as to why you think their price might be high and this is where the pricing should be.
Your out the door price estimate for that vehicle is right here. Your monthly payment calculator is right here. When the dealer inevitably tells you good luck, great job, you're approved for a extended warranty for $4,000, you can tell them, hey, CarEdge's warranty has $600 in markup and they're charging me this much, so why don't you match or beat them? We got the insurance, the maintenance and repair. Yeah, all really good. Yeah, here's your expected depreciation for this vehicle, expected maintenance and repair costs for the. Yeah,
there any other
are there any other
sites that do
are
that?
there any other father-son YouTube channel teams that have this information, Dad? I'm being hyper specific here.
No, not a one. Us two. We're the only ones. The only ones, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for spending some of your Saturday night with us, Pops. It was good to be back on a Saturday night.
Yes.
You get some rest. We are actually heading on an airplane tomorrow.
Tomorrow evening, where
are we going?
We're going to Charlotte because we hear it's a lot cooler down there than it is up here. So we're going down there to cool off and to meet up with our dear friend Brandon from Car Questions Answered.
Yeah, we're going to be hanging out with Brandon from Car Question Answered. If you have ideas that you want to see, content you want to see, behind the scenes stuff that you want to see, please let us know. It's going to be so much fun hanging out with him and his wife. So if you have things that you would love to see, again, even behind the scenes, just let us know. Also, over on Instagram is a great way to see.
And that steak dinner bet will be paid off Monday night. And
I already know who's going to pay for that.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, I'm going to pay for that. Like, it's going to be me. I already know it. It's not going to be Brandon. It's like, yeah, it's going to be a business expense. It's not going to be you. It's not going to be him.
It would be me. If you want it to be me, I'll pay for it.
And what are you going to do? Expense reimburse me?
You're damn right.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm paying for it. We will be live on Monday. From Brandon's dealership. So yeah, stay tuned. That'll be on our channel. Maybe we'll simulcast it. But yeah, we're really looking forward to it. So your first time meeting Brandon, he's a really nice guy.
Yes, I've only met him via YouTube.
May I get to meet him?
Yes.
In real life. Fly Chomper Fly, appreciate the contribution. House realtors have this kind of data for an area. Yeah, that's the whole idea behind what we're trying to do. Fly Chomper Fly is give everyone this information, and obviously in the auto industry.
Yes.
All right, gang. See you on Monday over on the Ray and Zach channel with Brandon from Car Questions Answered.
Yeah, at noon Eastern. I'm going to have to say
9 Pacific.
I'm going to have to say from somewhere in North Carolina.
This is your first remote broadcast.
Well,
It will be on Monday. It will be on
yeah.
Monday.
Yeah, no, well, yeah. I mean, I broadcast remote from my
You know what
condo.
I mean.
Oh, you mean outside of here? Yes, absolutely. Yes, and I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward, and we're going to record the dinner, by the way, because I'm sure there'll be some interesting conversation over steaks and drinks, and especially over 2 or 3 or 4 bourbons. So, yeah, it should be some priceless content, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm going to be
promise you.
babysitting you too. I don't drink. He drinks. You drink. I think his wife drinks.
Well, there you have it.
I'll be anyway. It's in
Yeah.
walking distance. No one's getting in a car.
Yeah.
Everyone have a great Saturday night. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy a restful Sunday. Thank you for doing this, Pops.
My pleasure. You know that.
Yeah. Anyone at Ford, if you work at Ford, OEM, dealership, you want to talk to us, you feel like we got things wrong, my email address is Zach, Z-A-C-H, @CarEdge.com. Would love to hear from you if you want to join us one night on a show. We would love to have your perspective. Otherwise, let's call it a night.
Okay. Let's call it Saturday night, ladies and gentlemen, with your friends here at CarEdge. Come visit us again on Monday, and then check out the website, CarEdge.com.
I don't know if husky and sexy is how I would describe it.
My husky sexy.
Your husky sexy voice?
Yeah.
All right. We've done it.